Hey there neighbors, Kevin here with Etrailer, and today we're going to be taking a look at and showing you how to install the Curt custom fit vehicle wiring harness here on our 2024 GMC Acadia. If you own an Acadia and you plan on towing a trailer, or maybe you just have a bike rack or cargo carrier that has some lights and you need a way to connect up and actually send those light signals from your vehicle over, then you're going to want to pick up the 7-pole wiring harness from Curt, because this is going to be a much simpler design. This is going to be just a simple plug-in to our factory connector, which is hidden right behind our fascia here on the driver's side. Now, the install can be a little bit daunting just because you are removing the fascia, but overall the fascia removal on this vehicle really isn't too tough. Once you get that off, you're going to have your trailer hitch receiver tube exposed, and at that point that's where you can get your mounting bracket. So you want to pick up a short no drill mounting bracket as well as a 7-pole round mounting bracket, which is this smaller piece right here that our 7-way connector actually mounts up to. Once you have all that on there, then you can just zip tie up the wiring that's sitting there, and then there are going to be 2 fuses that are included with this kit. And for that, you're just going to go up to the front of your vehicle, look in your fuse box, and there should be a trailer left turn and right turn fuse port. And if that doesn't already have the fuses installed in it, you'll just use the ones from the kit. So installation of this is super simple, but if removing the fascia is a little bit too much for you, then please feel free to use our dealer locator, and you can enter in your zip code to find a shop near you and get it professionally installed. If you are wanting to do this yourself, then stick around and I'll walk you through the process. Starting off our install, we're going to be down at the bottom of our bumper cover. There's going to be 2 screws that are going to be held in place, and we're going to need a T15 Torx bit to remove. Pop these out. And then we're going to go up above with our T20 Torx bit, and we're going to have a screw on either side that we're going to need to pop out as well. Now we're going to be removing the little panel here that's hiding the hardware for our taillights. And we're going to do this on both the driver and passenger side. You just pull straight back. It's going to have 2 clips and then 1 at the bottom, which is why I'm pulling straight back, because of the way that this is angled into here. And I'm going to do that, like I said, on both sides. Now on both sides there's going to be a screw that's holding in our rear fascia up to our body here, and that's going to require a 7mm socket to remove. And we'll do this on both the passenger and driver side. So since we're going to be removing our fascia, I'm taping along the edge of it so that way we're not having our paint get scratched as we pull the fascia on or off. And essentially we're just trying to get this as far into the crack in between the piece that we're pulling off and anything else that it's attached to. So in our case that's the tail light. Now in the instructions they do tell you you can take the tail lights out, and it makes it a little bit easier to pop off. But that's a lot more work of just pulling other pieces out instead of just using some tape here. Now if it is a problem where you're really having a hard time getting that fascia off, maybe circle back and then actually take off the tail lights here. But I'm going to see if we can get away with not adding on extra here, just because we're going to have to tape this anyway, so we might as well just try that first. Starting at the bottom of our wheel well liner here, we're going to have 4 screws that are all going to require a T15 Torx bit. And I'm going to be using a right angle driver so that way I can get in here really easily. Pop all 4 of these out. Once we have those out, we can then pull our liner back. Give us a little bit more working room. And then on our trim right here, we're going to be pulling up. So there's a tab that goes straight down into here, and that's really what's going to fight you. Once you get past that, it's all just push pins running up the length of this. Let me stand up. And some of these push pins will just pop right out. I'll show you in just a second. A lot of them will want to stick inside of the body. But we're going to pull our trim piece all the way up to here, and then we can see the screw that actually attaches our fascia to the body here. All these little clips, they literally just pop right out of the holders, and you can just put them right back in. So in my case, since they're still stuck into here, I'm gonna take my trim panel tool and just gently pop them out and place them back where they need to. So that way when we go to put our trim back in, it's gonna click right back into place. To remove our screw, we're going to need a 7mm socket again. Pop that out, and then we are going to grab just a shop towel. I'm going to stick that in here and kind of keep a little bit of separation here, but also something that's not going to scratch up our paint. Once we get that, we're going to grab a second set of hands, and we're going to start by getting our fascia removed. So now that we have all of our hardware removed, we're going to be able to start pulling away on our fascia. So on the side here, I'm going to just pull directly out. And I've got Aiden on the other side. He's going to be helping us take off our fascia. Just going to take it nice and slow. Work your way all the way to the inside here. And then on our driver's side, we got a harness we're going to need to remove. If you want to come on this side, you can see a little bit better. So we've got a red little clip we're going to press back, and then we can press in on this black tab right here. There we go. So the black tab is this guy right here, just behind our latch. And now we can set our fascia aside. So what we want to do is pull back on this red tab here. Once we have that out of the way, we can then depress the black tab here. You want to push in a little bit on that cap, and then you can pull it off. Pull that blank right out. Now we can plug in our connector. Make sure that clicks into place. And then we're going to route this up over our trailer hitch, keeping it away from our exhaust so that way it doesn't melt our wiring. And I'm going to have this sit right down here because I am also going to be putting a bracket on. We're going to go with a no-drill mounting bracket. It's going to clamp onto our cross tube here, and then we're going to have another bracket that actually mates up to the 7-way connector that's going to connect to this section of our wire harness, and that's also going to mount up right here so we have a nice stable point to connect to. All right, I've got my no-drill mounting bracket in place. Now we can actually get our 7-way connector on. We can click these two together. Make sure they're nice and tight, give it a little tug. It's good. Now we'll take our mounting hardware. Gonna have a screw to go through and then a nut on the back with a star washer. For the nut, you'll need a 10mm socket, and the screws are going to have a flat head. Now before we test our 7-way to make sure it's functioning, we do need to come into our fuse box and make sure that the fuses are installed. If not, then they will supply them with this kit as well. But we're looking for the trailer stop and turn signal for the left and right, which is fuses number 28 and 27, which are these two right here. It's these two red 10 amp fuses. You're going to get 2 of those in the kit, like I said, so if you don't already have those in there, they give them to you. You'll just want to pop those 2 in, and then that's going to allow those 2 light functions, or the left turn, right turn, and then both stops to actually have power to send back. So with that good, I'm going to pop the cover back on, and then we can test. So I've zip tied up my wiring so that way it's held up nice and high above our hitch here and it's secured. It's not going to be able to move anywhere really. I mean, I got like an inch of movement out of that. Now at this point I want to make sure my 7-way is properly functioning before I go ahead and put my fascia back on. So we've got our little tester here. Pop that in. We've already got 12-volt power, so that tells me it probably is going to be working, but we want to check every single function here that we can. We have our running lights. From there we've got left turn, right turn, and then our brakes. So now that we know that all of our functions are coming through on our 7-way, that's going to do it for the install side of this. Now all we have left to do is remove our cam strap from down below on our exhaust and then reinstall our fascia in reverse order. That's going to do it for our look at and installation of the Curt custom fit vehicle wiring harness here on our 2024 GMC Acadia.